Welcome back to the channel. Just a quick little video. Got a few little jobs I'm going to do on the pickup. Nothing too major, just tidying up the interior a little bit. And one of the things I need to do is I need to find some touch-up paint. There's a couple of scratches and things I need to do. Can't quite find the code. I've got the code for it, but the paint manufacturer supplier can't find it. So he's kindly lent me these chips, and I'm just going to see which colour it is, match it up with the car, and order the paint that way. So lots of choice. I'll have a little look. So one of the jobs I need to look at is the carpet on this side. This is probably an older version of the carpet. Somebody's put some mats in, they look reasonably new. So that black carpet's quite new, but there's this brown stuff that's been there from before. Same on the other side. So I'm thinking I'll replace that. So what I'm thinking is I've got this piece of carpet, which is actually from an MGB, goes over the top of the battery cover on MGB, but it's the right type of stuff. It's got some insulation on there, but I'll take that off. So I'm thinking there's probably just enough there to do that bit if I cut that into strips. Take this one off and use it as a template. There's only a little thin strip along there. Save me buying a piece, just use what I've got laid in the workshop. So I'm just going to whip that one off, use it as a template, cut that, and glue it on. Hopefully it'll work. And then all the carpets will be black instead of that little brown line along there. Okay, so I've had to take the chrome trim off, and I'll loosen this off to get this official plate off. The carpet's actually tucked under that. Could have just cut it along there, but I think it'll make it a neater job if it's tucked up under there. It'll hold it better as well. I might have to just drop the seatbelt anchorage off as well. Okay. Okay, that's got it released. That's the bit we want. Use that as a template. Just have a quick look under here. Everything seems okay in there. Some primer sprayed about in that corner. So maybe had something done at some point. Okay, so what I'm hoping to do is use this bit of carpet that we've just taken off as our template. I'm hoping this other bit of carpet is going to be long enough. I know the second one's going to have to be patched. It's not quite long enough. Get the first one out of that piece. But then the second one is going to be a little bit short, so there'll probably be a join in that one. But at least should do the job. Okay, one of the other things I need to do is the glove boxes. They're all sort of falling apart. They're quite loose. This switches the washers. They're just cardboard and you can get new ones, but I've been looking at sort of 30 or £40 each. Obviously there's one on each side. I'm going to have a little go at tidying them up. Doesn't mean I'm not going to buy new ones in the future, but certainly for now I think I'll just see if I can tidy them up somehow. So I'll whip the driver's one out and we can have a closer look. Okay, this is the driver's side one, so it's just kind of made out of cardboard. This one's probably the roughest of the two. It's quite out of shape. And torn on the corners. So what I'm thinking is just line it with something that will help support it for now. And obviously if I line it, it's going to cover up all these rough edges around here. And it'll do for now. That's my thinking. So I have a plan. I'm thinking use some of this carpet mat material. So it's just black carpet, it's thin rubber back, just slightly stiff, you know, will retain a bit of shape. And just cut out some shapes and line this, glue it on, try and get it to fit as tight as I can. And I think for now that would just tidy them up until I decide what to do. It does seem quite a lot of money for a little bit of cardboard. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut myself a template just out of paper. So I fitted it in there on the back, and then I've added probably an 1/8 inch all the way around to make a nice tight fit. And we just need to flip it over, and then it drops in there. So that'll be the back of it. And then I've already gone ahead and transferred that onto carpet. So I just basically laid that out on the carpet, marked around it, and then we ended up with this piece, which is more or less the same shape as that. And then that drops in. As I say, this probably isn't a long-term solution. It's certainly be tighter than what we're looking at right now when I'm driving. So that's a nice snug fit in there. That fits in the back there. Obviously I'll glue it, but what I think I'll do is I'll glue that bit on first, let it go off, and then tip the side bits. So the side bits, I'm just using the same material. Measure around there and cut a rectangle to fit in there. Okay, so I've cut this rectangle. It's roughly the size. Once trimming, once I start to glue it in. So that slides in there, slides up tight to meet the bit I put on the back. And then I'll have to sort of work it and position it to get a nice fit. And it'll be glued obviously. But that'll strengthen that cardboard once it's tightly on, and be a bit better to look at in there. Obviously all of this won't be seen because it sits behind the metal of the dash. You'll be basically looking into the black there, which should be tidier, but it's cost me nothing to try, so it's worth giving it a try. And I'll glue the bottom part first, and maybe clamp that down with some flat wood or something just so it tries to get a nice tight grip. And now I'll work my way around the sides and then glue it. I have to trim this last bit because it's too long currently. So once we've glued all this bit on, I'll trim that and glue that, and I think that might be okay. Certainly worth a try. It's a nice tight fit in there. I'm just going to do a bit at a time, so I'll put the back bit in, let that glue go off before I start attempting to stick the sides in. I think that just might be easier, save it all moving about. but it's definitely a nice tight fit. It fits quite well. So I'll let that go off. Now I'll try the side bits. Okay, so I got the rest of the carpet glued in. It's going to need a little clean out inside there, but it's not too bad. I tried it in a hole and it fits. What I've done is I've ordered some rubber edging strip, the sort that just sort of pushes over, you know, you get on doors and boot surrounds and things. So I'm waiting for that to come, and I'll just put it over both of these edges, and I'll tidy up a little bit, and then that's a lot better than what was there before. Sort of, as I say, it's probably just a temporary repair for now until we decide whether I'm going to replace them properly or not. So that's basically them for now. It has to go on hold a little bit until I get the moulding for it. In the meantime, I ordered some of these mirrors just off eBay, convex glass on them. So they were just off eBay, £25 for the pair, wasn't too bad. And I'm thinking that they should go on there. It should work okay. I've seen quite a few cars with them fitted just on that little chrome triangle there. So I'm going to whip that off and just see what's inside there and see what's involved. I've not looked in there before, so I have no idea what's involved in fastening that up. But it should be straightforward enough. As I say, I've seen plenty of them fitted there. So quite a nice little mirror. I'd say £25 for the pair, not crazy. So I'll whip that chrome off there and we'll have a little look at that, see if we can get that job done as well. Okay, I've got the chrome off. So this is just very thin stainless steel. The stud's not too long, it'll go inside there. But what I'll have to do is put a large washer or something in there just to try and make it a bit more stable. I can't see why that wouldn't work quite well. So I'm going to drill through this stainless steel, and I'll have to put a big washer on the back of it just to give it some strength. I mean, it's not too flimsy. I'll try and get the nut somewhere in this lower end so that it's got a bit more support here. I'll put a washer on, and the stud that's sticking through doesn't come too far, so it'll fit wholly within that as well, so it should be okay. So I'll have a little measure up and get some holes drilled in this. Okay, so I've taken the angle grinder and I've chopped off the excess because it was touching this side, just to see if there's enough to slide it on. I'll have to stretch it a little bit, but hopefully that'll be easier than cutting a big hole in the back of here that you can see. The other thing I've done is I've taken off the standard nut that was there, that came with it, and I fitted an eye lock just so I can get it tight. It's not going to vibrate loose, and it also means I don't have to fit the spring washer. So I've got a flat washer on there and then an eye lock nut, and that should do the trick. It's fairly solid actually, but we'll give it a try. We won't know until we try it and see if it fits. Okay, so I needed both hands to fit that, so I didn't video it. It actually slid on quite easily. I had to, as I say, I had to stretch it, so I've opened it up a little bit to get the nut to pass, but it popped on quite well, and sitting fairly flush on the inside again. Time the screws are both in, we should be okay. So I'll pop them 2 screws in and set the mirror up. Yeah, they're quite neat on there. I'll pop the screws in, have a sit in the driver's seat and make sure I can see out of it. So, sat in the driver's seat. Pretty good vision backwards there. The convex glass helps a lot. It sort of spreads the area that you can see. So that works quite well. The other one should be exactly the same. Actually a lot easier than I thought it might have been. That was very straightforward, didn't take long at all. And then I've just set the mirror up, and then I've just got these 3 screws on the back to just slightly tighten, and that holds it in position. So that's quite a neat job. So I've got the passenger side one on just as quick, no issues. It's very slightly restricted when you're looking from the driver's side. You have a little bit of this in the way, sort of partial over the glass bits. You've still got this much of the glass, 80% you can see straight back, so it's not too bad. I can't see any way around that unless you got a mirror with a lot longer arm, which I know you can get, but I can see out, and it's sufficient for what's needed, so that's okay. So a pretty straightforward job. So another little job that I've got to do is, I don't know whether standard on these, the glove boxes come with lids, you know, they floppy up and down a bit. I've seen ones with lids there with the surround on that side. I don't know whether the commercials never came with them, no idea. Anyway, I quite like the idea of having a lid on here just so that if you've got anything in there you can cover it up by putting the lid up. So I've managed to pick up this one just on Facebook Marketplace. So it's obviously the wrong colour. So I'm going to sand this one off and hopefully paint it the same colour. I've got some paint now. I managed to match up something that's quite close. I wouldn't say it's exactly right, but be close enough for in there, I think. I'll sand this up, give it a spray, hopefully it'll fit on. I'll just try it on now actually, just see if it does fit. So it does fit in, no problem, and there's even already holes for where the hinges go. So it shouldn't be too difficult. I'll take that handle off, give it a sand down, put some primer on it, and have a go at spraying that, and then we can have it fitted. so giving that a couple of coats of grey primer. I'm just going to flat that back a little bit and we'll try a little bit of the yellow on there. So I've got some yellow on there now. It's not the best coat because I'm actually painting it in the middle of the very dusty workshop. So there is some dirt in it, but it's only a glovebox lid, so it's going to be fine. We'll see how good the match is once I get that held next to the pickup. But at least it's got some colour on. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just a few little jobs, you know, I've just literally doing little jobs that I've found as I've had a good look around it. There's still some more stuff to do. Currently having a little look underneath towards the exhaust system because the tailpipe, it's not rotten or anything, but I'm just going to have a closer look at it and see if I can put an extension piece on there or like a tail piece, so that's why it's currently jacked up. But yeah, just enjoying working my way through these various jobs. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click like if you did enjoy it. And of course, click the subscribe button because most people are watching these videos haven't clicked subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it'll help the channel. So thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next video.